So the seminar here today shows us that there is an attempt by the European Union to change the way that we understand and we think about terrorism. You are involved in this attempt, and we are expecting soon things to be changed. What are the most important changes coming up?
So most important changes are especially a better cooperation in between the member states with a much better data exchange, because, for example, if you have terrorists crossing border from France to Belgium, from Poland to Germany, from Greece to Sweden, then you see that there are terrorists moving, using the migration flow, misusing the migration flow. They are registered, but nobody knows that they are terrorists, that they are already in a system and in a data bank that shows that they are terrorists. So we need a better data exchange. We need that Frontex has the right, so our border guards, European border guards, have the right to have a look inside the data banks, that Europol has a possibility to warn all member states very quickly if there are new persons appearing on this level. Then we will have the so-called passenger name record. The passenger name record means that we try to identify known and unknown suspects in the field of terrorism or other major crimes. Then as a further one, we want to have common definitions, how the minimum standards, how to deal with all issues of terrorists. We have now a new mandate for Europol with an internet referral unit that works against radicalization networks. We want to have a network of all member states together with Europol in the fight against radicalization and extremism. So there are really a huge range of issues. There is illicit weapon trafficking. There is the issue of financing terrorists. So you have really a wide range of legislative measures and concrete measures to deal with the new dangerous times of terrorism.
Even though Europe seems to stand together against terrorism, as you mentioned, cooperation is the key to tackle this problem.
Yeah.
But from what I understand so far, there isn't a specific common plan to be followed by all member states in order to achieve, to bring security back, the sense of security back to European citizens. Therefore, there is a gap in cooperation. How do we maintain this cooperation in the future?
I think the mistrust in between member states and a wrong understanding of data protection. There are member states, for example, saying, oh, this is a citizen of our member state, we cannot deliver this data to another member state. That's really wrong. We are a European Union, and terrorists or criminals, they don't know borders. They are acting internationally. So we have to decrease mistrust, we have to increase cooperation, we have to give a clear legal basis for this kind of cooperation. We have to stop a wrong understanding of data protection, because not to stop a terrorist on his way from Paris to Belgium because the data are not exchanged is really incredible, and the population will get a more and more mistrust in the politicians on the European level and on the national level, that they are no more able to fight against terrorism. But I see that nearly all member states, especially France, who was really attacked severely, in Germany, in Great Britain, but also in smaller member states, from Malta to Cyprus and Luxembourg, we see that there is a wish and a will to work together. The member states and the ministers of interior affairs, they see the danger, because this danger is much more severe than it was before. Before we had international organized crime that was a challenge, but it was in a normal range. Now we are coming in a situation that huge organizations of terrorists, accounting to around about 200,000 in this world, and organizing themselves together with the networks of organized crime, saving money, assembling money for their criminal acts. And if we see this linked, very, very clever, interlinked, and if you see that they are training individuals to work individually on attacks, then this is a new challenge, we have a new dimension of challenge that we never faced before. So, and I see that the ministers of interior and the member states are ready to work on this. There are several discussions, but the vast majority is really rational and works very closely together with us.
Do you agree with those suggesting that the refugee crisis will eventually prove to be a European problem in terms of seeing terrorism in the future?
I wouldn't make this link in between migration and terrorism. I don't see this. We see that there are different reasons for radicalization. And I take the case, for example, of Sven Lau in Germany. He was not Muslim.
Yeah.
He's grown up in Germany. There was no reason to be terrorist, but he is one of the worst terrorists existing in this world. There are people coming, for example, if you take Mohammed Atta, who was the attacker in the United States of the Two Towers, one of the attackers. He was not poor. He was not. He was not workless. He was engineer. So we are facing a new kind of radicalization and of extremism. Terrorists
create a profile for the terrorist of 2016. You mean?
I think we need more studies and research on how radicalization is going on. It can be that these are young, workless people or without perspectives, used or misused to come into terrorist areas or to commit a crime. Yes, this is existing, but this is too easy it's just one example. The heads of terrorism, they are intelligent, they have money, and they were not workless. So we see that this is another challenge that we are facing. And the migration, we have to do a lot in integration. If migrants come to a member state, then we have to do a lot to integrate them and to make one thing very clear. Our rules in the member states, our European values like tolerance, acceptance of religions, different religions, that women and men have the same status, they are both valuable in a society, and they are allowed to do themselves what they think that they want to do in their lives. All those values must be considered in an integration, because if integration means that you have ghettos, no-go areas, and places where radicalized groups believe that they can undermine our rules and our rule of law in the European Union, this should be avoided absolutely. And I think there are errors and mistakes in the past. A lot of migrants were not really integrated, and we have really to do this and to make it very clear. If somebody does not want to accept our rules, then please go into a state where there are other rules existing. There are a lot of states in the world, but we are really known in the European Union for this freedom, for rule of law, for democracy. So these are values that we want to keep in the future, and we must protect these values.
No compromises.
No compromises.
Thank you very much.